Nairobi is cold. The weather is cold.
Nairobi is extremely cold.
How
16
cold
degrees.
is it?
Wow. Like when it's cold, like you have snow in Nairobi?
No.
No, not that kind of cold. Favorable, like I was this way the whole days. That can't be too much cold, but we still find it too cold.
Wow.
What is the
16
temperature right now over there? 16 degrees.
Yeah,
No,
16
it's fresh. It's very fresh.
Cool,
16 is too much for us. We are used to 27.
Wow, so tropical.
Yeah,
By the way,
tropical.
guys, I think we're live.
Oh,
So good evening, then. Good evening to everybody that is around. My name is Lorena Serrano, and I am pleased to welcome you to another ARKOMO live session. Today we have with us not only one, but we have two of our important ARKOMO members. With us, we have Betty Moura, our ARKOMO Life Master Coach, and we have our ARKOMO Wealth Master Coach, Mr. Mohammed Murad. As you know, Betty, or Beth Moura, is an accomplished trainer with more than 10 years experience in soft skills training at corporate level, both locally and internationally. And Mr. Mohammed is not only the investment portfolio manager, he is as well ARKOMO's Wealth Master Coach, creating education which really impacts the people's life. Good evening, Betty.
And hopefully, as Betty said, one day soon, licensed yacht driver.
Very, very soon. Very, very soon. Looking forward for that one. So, Betty, Mohammed, good evening, both of you.
Good evening, Lorena.
good evening, Lorena, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know that Mr. Mohammed Murad as well had his birthday yesterday. So as well, it's a double celebration.
Oh, happy birthday to you too, Mohammed. Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you again on public.
Perfect. So moving forward, then today
we must post-COVID.
Absolutely. So moving forward today, we have prepared a few questions.
Maybe post-COVID, you can visit us here in Dubai, Betty, or we will definitely visit you as well in Nairobi.
Absolutely, we have to do that party in Dubai, and you will visit Nairobi. Hope it won't be as cold as it is now.
That will be
but
good,
you're welcome. You're welcome to Nairobi.
Thank you.
Anything else you would like to say, Mr. Murad?
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sure. Let me then just move forward. May I? Betty,
yes,
Mohammed,
yes.
We have prepared a few questions for both of you. I'm moving forward. Betty, Coach Betty, we want to know a little bit more about you.
Yes.
And we know that you have been an entrepreneur for 8 years now. Now we want to listen from you. What has been your motivation to start your business, your coaching business?
Wow, thank you so much, Lorena. Today, I am really glad that you could have us both, Mohammed and myself, I being a coach in the Life Master Program and Mohammed in the Wealth Creation Program. That really is, I really like that. I've always been alone, or he's been alone, or with Robert. We've never been the two of us in a show, and I'm glad that today I'm going to learn more about wealth creation, and probably he will learn something small about life coaching. And so, as Lorena said, my name is Coach Betty Moura, and I coach. I'm a life coach. I'm a business coach. That's what I do here in Nairobi, and that's what really wakes me up at 3 a.m. Something I really, really enjoy doing. And looking back to your question, Lorena, what motivated me to start my business and to keep going is one day I just woke up and I wondered, is this all there is to life for me? Of course, I was working for a very good company, the leading telecommunications company in my country. I was in a good position. I was being paid well. Things were okay. But in life, when you have a bigger purpose than you are attending at the moment, and when you are alert, if you are not alert, you will never have to ask yourself, is there anything more that I can do? But if you are alert, like I was, and the reason I was alert is because I was taking a lot of personal development courses. And so at one point, I knew I was hitting targets for my employer. I was doing very well for my employer and also for myself. I wouldn't say that I wasn't doing well for myself. But one day I wondered, really, is this all? Is this all I can wake up to do Monday to Sunday? Is there anything else? Is there a little bit more potential in me? And I wondered, what's my big why? Why did I come? Why did I get here? What am I supposed to be doing? And so when I answered those questions on my own, I realized that I was in a good position. I was in a good job, but that job wasn't helping me to achieve my big why. And my big why in life is to help people see and activate and harness their potential so that they can go to the next level of their lives, or they can live a more fulfilling life, or they can make use of the gifts, the talents, the ideas, and the passion that they were created with. So that's my big why. Just working with people to increase, their awareness around their giftings. And so we not only find out what their giftings are, we not only find out what the passion is, we not only find out what these many big, good, grand ideas are, we find them, and then we sit down and harness that brilliance. And then we can come up with a product or a service that they can trade either for money or for fulfillment, because there are people who are not looking for money, they are looking for next level. We have our own Robert. Robert is not looking for money. Robert is looking for legacy. Robert is looking for fulfillment and for the next big level. But we have people like that who don't know really what to do with many ideas in their head. They don't know what to do with their talent. They don't know what to do with themselves. And so my big why is to sit down with such people and come up with something and harness that brilliance into something beautiful. So the reason why I'm motivated and the reason I started this business is because I needed a vehicle that would help me carry people to a destination. In Dubai, when I'm in Dubai, I use metro, the metro buses. You need a metro to carry people from this city to this city. So I needed a vehicle so that I could carry the people I'm telling there is potential, there is this and that, there is possibilities, there is abundance for all of us, there is more we can do with our lives, the life ahead is more brighter, there is a better tomorrow. You can't keep telling people that, and you don't have a vehicle to carry them to the other destination. So the vehicle that I got is the business that I do. And in that vehicle, I carry my people, I carry my clients and tell them there's a better destination ahead called better life, freedom, money, revenues, happiness, joy, great networks, good life, better parenting, and all that. So how we get there is the business that I run. And so that's how I started my business, and that's my motivation every day. Even in the midst of COVID-19, I kept thinking, no, my big why is very important. I can't give in to this fear. I must keep forging forward. So,
Betty,
yeah.
I can imagine that you meet all types of people and all type of businesses approach.
Yes, I meet all types of people, all types of businesses, all types. I meet people who are doing well, well in their own version, well in their own thinking. But the moment that I sit down with them, I have this gift of insight. I think just God gave me the gift of insight. I'm able to see what you are doing currently, but I can see you starting another line this way. I can see you improving on this product. If you improve on this service this way, you're going to employ 10 more people, or you're going to make 10 more times what you're making right now. I meet with the executives who are working for the corporate world, and they are doing very well in their own thinking. But when we sit down, I'm able to see this something else. Would you be willing to try? This is the way you can do it. Would you be willing to try? So I meet executives, I meet middle-level managers, I meet supervisors, I meet new employees, I meet people who are starting their businesses, I meet people who have run their businesses 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, 20 years. In a nutshell, I think I'm blessed to come across different level of knowledge, different level of people, different kind of people. The internet is an enabler. Now I'm meeting people from all the from different parts of the world. What I've learned, Lorena, is that it doesn't matter which part of the world you are in, our challenges as human beings are almost the same.
I agree with you.
We are dealing with the same problem. We are dealing with fear. We are dealing with, just not knowing what's going on. We are dealing with lack of clarity. We are dealing with, competition. We are dealing with such. All of us, we are dealing with the same things.
I completely agree with you. And that's why I want to ask as well, Mohammed, here, talking about businesses. I know that you, as a wealth master coach, some people say that trading is not really a business, and it is a risky business where no one can make really money in it. So I want just to get your feedback in that. What is your thought and your understanding on that then?
Thank you for this question, Lorena. It's indeed a very common question. We always face it. It was the first question that came from my family when I've decided this direction in my career. Yeah, so I had to sit down with them and explain it as well. So I will not go into the details of it, but just as a general sum, yeah, any business you do in life, and here we have a witness who has Coach Betty, who has seen. Due to her job, she is experienced and exposed to many businesses and many industries. So when I say any business, I mean any business, regardless. It's a restaurant, it's a multinational company, it's a haircut salon. Any business is always defined by its cost, its longevity, its profits, yeah? And of course, you have the organization and structures and. But always what matters is the cost and the profits. This is how you measure your profitability in that business. Then, speaking about cost, in the business of trading, it's very similar to any other businesses available around the world. Once you know what you're doing, you will estimate what are your losses if your speculations are wrong, because you cannot always be right 100%. And as well, you will estimate what are your speculations when you are right. And then you would develop a strategy around the right that you do and around the wrongs that you do in that trade. The wrongs are measured risks. When they are lost is a cost of operation. Let's say you are doing a hairdressing salon somewhere, or let's say a restaurant. Yeah, let's make it easy. A restaurant. You have to pay rents for the place. You have to pay rents for the employees you have to pay electricities, blah blah blah. So these are all operating costs. And the out product is the food that you give to the clients. Yeah,
service. Yeah.
In the trading business, every trade that we take, maybe someday we take one trade or two, depends how the markets are moving. Sometimes we really don't have any trade for like 2-3 days. It depends how the market moves, and it depends how the price actions is coordinated with our strategy or our process. So some trades, the ones that are lost, are within very much acceptable risk. And this risk, if it is lost, it's gone against the cost of operation. And again, the winning trades in our strategy will recover those costs of operations, and they will produce for us the income that we want. This is why, like any other business, trading is having similar aspect. The best part of trading, the other part of it, that whatever is right or wrong, you get to know it, that decision. You get to know the results of that decision anyway from 1 minute to 2-3 days maximum. In any other business that you do, any other business, let's say you open a restaurant in a bad location. Yeah, how many times we go into the streets in Dubai or anywhere in the world, you would see in a street there are so many restaurants that they open and they close after 6-7 months. They open and another restaurants close after 6-7 months. They have invested a lot of capital, time, energy, blah blah blah, but then they shut it down. Why do you want? Me personally, I prefer to be in a business if I know I'm right and wrong within like a couple of minutes or 2 days, instead of being in a business like a restaurant or something. If it's in a bad location, it takes me 6-7 months to know that the location was wrong. Just giving a simple example here. There are many other factors that goes around it, but it's similar to any other business. The other side of trading, and this is the beautiful side, another beautiful side of it. Betty, a little while ago, she spoke about COVID-19. Yeah, COVID-19 has affected a transgression in many businesses. Some businesses has lost profits, some businesses has lost market share, and many businesses has transformed from normal offices to virtual offices, from a lot of travel into more of digitization and like what we're doing today on Zoom and online. And this is going to change the markets of the future. In trading, this is an economic proof business, because if you know what you're doing, you can sell when the market is dropping down and you make the money. And you can buy when the market is going up, also you will make money. That's why a business like trading and investment, not investment, trading mostly, is an economic proof system once you know what you're doing. So coming back to your question, when you say, is it a real business? Yeah, it's more than a real business. The downside of it, and this is why I like the idea of ARKOMO, that's why I was so excited when Robert proposed it. The downside of it, for me, it's a little bit depressing if I stay alone all the day between my screens without talking to people around. Yeah, because you don't need an office to work for it. And that I used to be working in a corporate with a lot of people and communication every day. So that's the downside of that business. But when you start building around it other stories, having students, having clients left and right, you have daily communications and stuff, then the thing starts changing.
And I believe that all of these will overcome throughout the time, throughout the years of experience.
Yeah, of course. That requires time, patience, experience, trust, self-confidence, many things.
That's why I want to ask Betty, because I think all of us, like you were mentioning before, Mohammed, in the companies in the beginning, they will face some challenges. And I want to know, Betty, how do you overcome some of the challenges that you face, for example, in the first 2 years, for example, let's say 2 years of your business, of your career? Because obviously people will face challenge, but then what were some of the challenges that you could identify, and how did you overcome them?
Thank you, Lorena. If I remember very well, some of the challenges I faced in my business in the first 2 years is what I call the newcomers problem into the market. So we have Mohammed. He's an expert in trading. He knows his thing, like this. Then we have a newbie who wants to try trading. So there are things that Robert has learned on the way. There are things he's learned from other traders. There are things he has learned from failing forward, trying again, failing forward, and trying again and failing forward. So there are I couldn't really get because I was a newbie. And some of those things were, first of all, I am in service. I'm selling services. I'm not selling a product. And Mohammed can tell you, selling a service is much harder than selling a product. If you are selling this phone, it's a Samsung S20. You just need to tell us the features of the Samsung. It has a good camera. It's this, and then you can. People are willing to pay for a product they can see, than a service. They have to be told how it will work, and they have to wait for results to know if it's good or it's not good, to know if it's good for their cash or it's not a good investment. So I was in the service industry. I am selling a service and I'm a newbie. That's a bad combination.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the challenges I found that, trying to sell people a service that they are not, first of all, interested in because they are not in problems. And then they don't really know what are the benefits. And you can't show them the benefits before you do the training or before you do the service to them. And so that was a very big challenge for me. And how I overcame that challenge, of course, I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a whole year trying to do it on my own, trying to find out answers to how do I sell a service to people? How do I convince companies invest money for training? And we all know when serious things like COVID-19 happens, big corporations will be withdrawing money. Training money is quickly withdrawn.
Yeah.
And money is, it's kept for other important things like salaries and paying rent and utilities. So imagine trying on my own to find a way of how do I convince these people that they need this service. I am a newbie. I don't know how these things are done. And so I was stuck for around a year and a half until one day I bumped into a coach. I didn't even know what coaches were then. I kept wondering who can hold my hand, who can help me through these murky waters. I came across a coach and I sat with her for 1 hour, and she seemed to understand what was going on in my mind. She seemed to know what I was looking for. But now finally, she could only give me too much of her time, and that was a whole hour of her time. And so she convinced me to sign up for a coaching program. It was my first time to hear about coaching. And that is what we do today, Lorena. We want to make it easier for people who are coming out of employment like I was. We want to make it easier for people who have never practiced business. We want to make it easier for people who have wasted 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. We are still calling your business a startup. We want to show them what my coach showed me. We want to shorten the journey by 10 years. We want them to learn the street smarts. There's book smart. You can read how to trade. You can go to the internet and watch all the YouTube channel. But 10 minutes of sitting with Mohammed are worth 5 years of searching on your own.
Of course.
And that's what we do as coaches. We shorten the journey for you. We hold your hand through growth because we are all looking for growth. We hold your hand through growth. We hold your hand through change. And as you mentioned before, a coach will meet a lot of people in this life. You will meet those who are doing well, those who are not doing well. You will meet those who are doing well will let you know why they are doing well. So you know a lot of things. And so you filter for your client, you filter what is good for Lorena. And if I hold her hand, in the next 1-2 years, she's going to have a stable business. And so that was one of the challenges I faced. And how I sorted it out is hiring a coach. The other challenge I faced was I didn't know how to price my services. I thought that because I'm new, I am supposed to give my services at a low price so that people would come in droves and hire me to help them. What a sad, the sad reality on the ground I found. People don't care. They don't even care about your low prices. They care about the value they are getting from you. They care about results.
Of course.
So what I should have been focusing on is getting my clients results, not getting them low prices. That's not what they were looking for from me. And that's a big mistake a lot of us do. They come to the industry, they find coaches, they find teachers, they find trainers, they find speakers. You find people who have already been in the industry and you undercut them in the hope that people will come running to you. They might come running to you, but the people who come running to you because you have lower prices are people who will disturb you. They don't want to pay, first of all. Even those lower prices, they shall not pay you well. And so by the time they are getting to you, they've already underrated you because your prices are mediocre. And they want premium services for mediocre prices. That's not going to happen.
Yes, of course, it happens.
Yeah, so that's one of the mistakes Yes, Mohammed.
What you're saying really truly applies for every industry. Like any business that is available on earth today, you cannot downprice it and offer a premium service.
You can't. It's not possible.
And like the services that you're offering as well, especially through the Life Master program, those services are not only for individuals, but are also for corporates. And especially when you're supporting people to learn more about verbal and nonverbal communications, sales pitches, closures, time managements per units, blockage, and stuff like that. These kind of skills are useful for the individual, but as well they would return and render much higher value leveraged for the company that are hiring these individuals.
Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you're a new person in the field, you've started a new business, or you want to start a new business, or you want to get a promotion at work, what will help you is not underpricing. It is not, giving customers free services. In fact, I would rather someone that is already charging a little figure, but there are some who are even giving their information for free, thinking that customers will love you. They will not love you. In fact, those free services that you are giving will be put on the shelf and they will not be using those ones. So meaning you will waste time, you will waste their time, and they will not love you for it. So the best, and what I found and how I found a solution, is investing in myself. I invested in coaches, I invested in personal development, I invested in knowing my craft. I invested 10,000 hours to become a master, so that when I deliver something, I deliver results.
That's cool.
That's amazing. That sounds really. You deliver
I deliver value, I deliver results, so you pay me for it, because it won't take us a whole month to figure out what your problem is and how to sort it out. It will take us an hour. Who doesn't want to save time? And so if we shorten your journey by a whole month, a whole year, a whole 5 years, please pay for it.
I want to go out a little bit of the agenda, and I want to put you to the test, Betty.
Yes.
The other day, I have put something on the social media, and I said, do you guys have problems sleeping? Like if the window of sleeping has passed, can you still sleep? For me, no. If my window of sleeping has passed, so the whole night is good. And then you mentioned something. You said you have trained your brain to sleep as soon as you close your eyes. How do you do that? Just give us an example.
I think, Mohammed, what I realized is that this thing called the mind is a very powerful tool. Our mind, you see, Lorena, you just need to train this mind. I want to see this, and your mind will deliver that.
Yes.
If you train your mind that, once my sleeping window is over, I will not sleep, you will not sleep. But if you for my mind, I tell my mind, once I hit the blanket, I am sleeping. And for some reason, and it works. There are people, by the way, Mohammed, who don't set alarms they don't set alarms for waking up, because they tell their mind, I'll be waking at this time to read, I'll be waking at this time to meditate, I'll be waking at this time to chase my dreams. They don't do alarms, and they wake up the same time every day. Nobody wakes them up. It's all
For
in
me,
the
if I
mind.
want to wake up at a certain time, I can wake up at a certain time. But to sleep at a
Exactly.
certain time, that I cannot do.
Betty,
It's in the
then
mind.
my question is, this is for anything and everything in life?
It, absolutely. It's for anything and everything.
Whatever you put in your mind as a decision, it can happen.
Whatever you can see in your mind, that you can have. You just need to put it in your mind, repeat it, repeat, rinse, repeat until your mind learns how to think that way. And you will find that your mind will stop accepting anything less of that.
Repetition.
You know, teach your mind, remind it, put it in your mind, allow your mind to see it that way.
Cool.
There are people who cannot, they really cannot understand how we don't get whatever it is that we don't want to, we want to get in this life, because they've learned how to use their mind as a tool. And the last time you interviewed me, Lorena, I remember saying that the mind is a tool that can expand another 100 times. Like if you take your mind, where your mind is right now, if you think you are doing very well, can you imagine that brain can expand another 100 times if you allow it?
So how can you allow it?
Sorry?
How can you allow it?
You teach your mind. You teach your mind. You've got to have discipline. You've got to learn how to teach your mind. For me, I just got out of the wrong environment. You cannot be in the wrong environment, speaking negative, acting negative, sleeping negative, eating negative, and then you expect positive results. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to sacrifice and put this as a non-negotiable. I am not going to be in groups that are going to expand negative energy, to expend negative energy. I'm not going to be in that group. I am not going to. My family and I sacrificed. We didn't watch television, Lorena, for 7 years. We didn't even have any in the house for 7 years. We read books, we read blogs, we fed our minds what we wanted to see.
That is the best thing ever.
And the reason I stopped watching news is because every time I would watch news, I would go to bed upset. I would go to bed upset. I would go to bed fearful, feeling so horrible about this world, and life is just about to come to an end. And so one day I'd realized, you know what? I will not watch this news. I'll use that time to feed my mind with what I want to see happening in my life. And we did. We gave it out. We forgot about it, and we stood our ground. Of course, your friends are gonna come and tell you are crazy. How is it you don't have a television box in your house? You are not even normal. So you need to learn how to stand on your ground and say, that's my decision.
Betty, I need to interrupt you. When you say normal, it depends on which standard. Yeah, I don't have a TV on my house in 20 years.
Oh, you still don't have?
No.
To be honest,
the last one, I think I sold it maybe around 9 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm. But what's the percentage of the population that doesn't have a television set in the house? What's the population?
I don't know.
0.000.
But nowadays it's not only the TV. Nowadays it's on the mobile phone. Everything is available on the phone.
Yeah, everything.
Exactly. So it's up to you to decide, when I am holding this gadget, what is it that I'm feeding my mind? Mm-hmm. What is it that I'm watching? What am I doing on YouTube? What am I doing on Instagram? Am I feeding my mind with the things I want to see? Or am I feeding my mind with the things that I really don't even care about?
That is just
and so the more. Exactly. Lisa Nichols says,
you can select the feeds of what you want to see and cancel the ones that you don't want to see. And that's a good, powerful way of using social media, actually.
But a lot of people just watch what is available on their feeds. So they are busy scrolling, but they want a good life. They are busy scrolling. They want to live in a good environment. They are busy scrolling. They want advancement in life. It's not going to happen. That advancement is not going to come on its own. You are
Very
going to have to work. And if you
much.
remember very well, Robert told us, outwork, outlearn others. And that's the only way you can do it. So, Lorena, to answer your question, you know, that's how some of these things work. I mean, I was answering Mohammed. It's all in the mind. It starts and ends in the mind. How you train your mind is how you live your life.
Absolutely, of course. And you were saying as well that it depends on the amount of time that the people can really get into it, and so much on the time. And I want to ask Mohammed, like, is it true that a person needs to spend all his day on the computer when you do trading to make money?
No.
So how does it go then?
No. It depends on what type of trader you are, yeah. And there are a couple of types of trader. For example, there is something called swing trading, which is swing trading and day trading. Let's say something that takes 2-3 days for a trade to hit and to close. And intraday trading is usually a trade that closes within the same 1 or 2 days. And there are something called a little bit more longer term trading. These are the long swings. These trades kind of take 2 to 3 weeks, depending on market volatility. Everybody has his own routine, and a trader needs to discover what suits him, what time suits him. But usually there are really not more than 2 to 3 hours per day. Yeah, like 1 or 2 hours before the London session, and maybe 1 or 2 hours before the American sessions, and that's it. You're done for that.
Amazing. And now during this, what about this COVID season? Has it been affected through the trading?
COVID season, was it? Can you come again with the question?
Like during this COVID season, has it affected at all the times for the trading?
No. The timing, no. It affected the volatility in the market. Basically, look, the market has its own cycles. It stretches up to certain standard deviations, and then it corrects itself over the years. Yeah. By coincidence, news like COVID or Fed Reserve, like Fed Reserve meaning the Federal Reserve news, or any political or geopolitical news comes and push that direction a little bit faster. So COVID was good in terms of volatility for the markets. It did not affect the timing. Actually, I remember when we were going into a very sharp downtrend during the COVID days. Actually, the volatility was so high that, and there are certain rules and regulations in the market. For example, if the Nasdaq, which is the index, like the major indices, yeah, Nasdaq or Dow Jones or the S&P has dropped and much more. I remember much more than 350 points a day or something. Then it reaches its lower limit. The same applies for the upper limit if it goes up faster. Then when it reaches those limits, the trading in that session stops. Yeah, on these future indices. So that happened, if I recall correctly, maybe 6 or 7, maybe 5 or 6 times during the COVID. This is how volatile was the market. Last time something happened like this, maybe was in the 2008 area. Maybe it happened twice at that time, but this time it was so volatile and violent in the market that it happened 6 times. And one, if I remember, maybe at least one of those times was an upper limit hit. Like the market was going down, then it rebounded back up very fast. It reached the upper limit, market and the trading stopped, and then it went back down again. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
So,
And what about you, Betty? Has the COVID season taught you anything, or how has it affected in terms of coaching?
Thank you, Lorena, for that question. Of course, we cannot underestimate the damage that COVID-19 has
Yes.
caused on businesses, on industries, on personal lives, and a lot of areas. I mean, life has really not been the same with COVID-19 around. But I guess me, the biggest damage that COVID-19 caused was the damage on people's confidence and the fear that it caused. The fear of death, the fear of getting sick, the fear of not knowing what's going on in the world. I mean, at some point, people thought we'll just wake up and, we are done. Like I don't know where we were all going. Some of us, were fearful the first 2 weeks. We didn't know what was going on. Some of us have capability to quickly look around and see what's going on, make a decision very fast how you're going to deal with it, and pick yourself up. Then there are those people who will really get crippled and they stop completely and they stop and wait. And so some people just started coming out of the houses in August. Can you imagine, since March? But there are some people who just they were watching the whole of March, a bit of April, and they decided, this thing is a calamity. The government is doing something. I'll do something to take care of myself, but I will not allow it to kill my dreams, and I will not allow it to stop me from what I'm doing. And so for me personally, I watched the first 2 weeks. I am someone who really likes to research, and I like to know what's going on. And I really like question theories. You can't just tell me, stick in the house, cover yourself, don't do that. And I obey that. I will, but I want to know why. What's going on? Where did it come from? and from here, what happens? I can't just close myself up and say, oh God, now this is it. No way. I want to go and research what's going on in the US, what's going on in Dubai, what's going on in my country. Why? Why should I wear a mask? Why should I? This thing that I should wash my hands with, why should I? And I'm not saying that I won't do it, but I want to know the why, the benefits.
Curiosity.
And so once you start questioning, curiosity really, once you start questioning, you also realize that there are some truths. And of course, there were some untruths being peddled around. And so you decide, I am not going to fight with the untruths because I don't even know where this is heading. I will stick with the truth and take care of myself. And so that's what I decided to do. And actually, fortunately, this season has turned out to be one of the best seasons for us in the coaching industry, me and my collaborating partner. Her name is Irene Reid. So one of the things we decided to do very fast was to pivot this business. We decided now that people cannot meet physically, what do we do so that we don't come back to business and we are dead and we have to start from scratch like newbies? That wasn't to happen. So one of the things we decided to do was to launch an online course. So we sat down, we recorded videos, we did workbooks, we did all we needed to do. We got someone to put them online and we started selling the program. We got another extra source of income. But as I was saying a while back, everything starts and ends in the mind. It's in the mind. It's about your mindset. We decided this is fear. We must approach this fear with some logical, facts and logics. My coach, I have a business coach who told me, you cannot make business decisions emotionally. You can't decisions to business decisions. No way. You've got to have your facts together. You've got to have logic and data. Those are three things that a business person must look at. Emotions, yes, there's COVID, people are dying, and this is happening. That's true. But at the end of the day,
it's the same thing
yes?
applying in trading. It's the same thing applying in trading. We say trade what you know, not what you feel.
Is trading and coaching is similar?
It's unfortunate that a big percentage of people just really gave in to fear and did nothing during that period. And we are not trying to say that we are the very best. We are also risking. I mean, we are all really risking, but we are never coming out of this life alive. So sometimes it's also good to give it your best shot. Take care of yourself, yes, but give it your shot as well. So I can say it's been a tough season, but we have made tough decisions that helped us be somewhere, pivot the business so that it doesn't fall. You needed to give your business a stable, to balance it somewhere so that it doesn't, edge one side or the other, and then you kill your business or you kill your career. So, yeah, but the cognizant side of the fact that a lot of people have lost they've lost their jobs, they've lost money, they've lost this and that, and it's unfortunate. But it's also good that we prepare for the next crisis. We don't know what the next crisis in the world will be. So we need to prepare our mindset so that when it comes, we can sit down, look at data, facts, and research. Data, facts, and logic. And
talking about that, we have even some of our viewers commenting that they agree in regards with the TV. We have a message from saying that they share exactly the same thoughts in regards to the TV. It is very much true that the TV thing is not that much being, although it is in many of our houses. It's right now we are mostly watching on the mobile phones, and having now that Mohammed is saying that we can do the selective watching of the posts that are we looking at around. And you are mentioning that you get to be very curious you were very curious to be being very aware of what was happening in the US and what was happening in your country during the COVID times. What about you, Mohammed? What is it in regards with the trading? Do you need to be all the time connected, knowing what's happening in the world in order for you to improve the trading? What is the relation between the news, the curiosity on what's happening with the news, and what is happening with the trading? How to improve your trading?
Not really, no. Regardless whether the news are good or bad, for us as traders, news are just a factor to increase volatility in the market. We don't care much more than that. Yeah, we don't care if they say X or Z or A or B. That doesn't matter for us as traders. Yeah, but as long-term investors, that a fact because it drives the direction of a market. For example, if you say the Federal Reserve is going to increase the interest rates or let's say make negative interest rates, it means the bonds are going to change their directions in the market. Yeah. Or if they are going to, also the US dollar will change direction in the market. That would affect long-term investors. But for day traders who rely really on the market action, and our technical analysis depends on different things, like we call them technical analysis clusters, and they don't depend, let's say, heavily on fundamental analysis, which works for like long-term investing for months and years and stuff. Then news for us are just a factor that will increase the volatility. We don't really need to know what's happening that much. But from a curiosity point of view, I keep track of certain things just for me to be because I have interest into knowing these things. Yeah, because they kind of fit for my personal own analysis of what's happening in the region where we live. Because it's true that you're a trader, but you're also part of a society, and this society is also affected by many decisions that is happening around the world.
Yes.
and you have to always be aware of what's happening. And as a speculator, it's fun to think about what's going to happen in the future, And for you to know what's going to happen in the future, you need to have your own analysis system that is built on certain data, and most of the time on certain Excel sheet dragging. Yeah, you have your own formulas, and then you drag an Excel sheet, and then you will say this is going to happen. And
I believe this is gonna be learned throughout the program that you are starting very soon.
what trading? Yeah, trading. Yeah, but analyzing economical and geopolitical things, no. Is something of my own hobbies. It has nothing to do with trading.
Oh, okay, okay. Good to know. Good to know. One last question for you, Betty. I know that our ARKOMO classes are gonna go live very soon. Just very briefly, what do you think is gonna be the biggest problem that they are going to solve?
Fantastic. I'm actually excited that finally our classes are gonna go live with our patron and leader Robert, having known what he has done in the world in different countries in his capacity as a CEO. I'm really excited. I know I'll be teaching in the classes, but I'm more excited in what I'll be learning. I mean, from Robert, from Mohammed, from Lorena, from the team. And as we go live and as we prepare to start these classes, I'm excited to know that ARKOMO is going to offer life skills. With the happening of COVID-19, we all have realized that there's something more that we need to have other than our credentials. There's something more than the job you hold today. You need something more than the physical thing you call yours. I know Mohammed shared a video, people throwing money away in Venezuela and burning the money because it wasn't even making sense.
Yes.
And so all these, buildings we for ourselves, have all this money we've saved in the bank, we could have all this property that we have bought. But sometimes problems come, crisis happens. I mean, problems come. Like COVID crisis came, and you find yourself not really having a lot of value for the material property that you own. And the only thing that probably can save you and save the day, that moment, is what is in between your ears, is what is in your brain right then.
Of course.
We've all learned with COVID-19 that you could be stripped of anything that you own. So the only thing you can have to call your own is whatever you've invested in your brain. And so that's what ARKOMO is coming to do, to offer life skills, to offer practical skills that can take us to the next level. We've had the conventional education. We go to school, we learn, we get a degree and a master's and a PhD and all these things that we go and learn. But life is changing. I mean, technology is changing. I see little children. My kids are always watching something on YouTube, this versus pro. And little kids who are making it on YouTube, they have a lot of videos. They are being paid big money by companies to advertise. Their influencers already at age 10, age 12, age 14. Life is changing. If you know a skill that can give you revenue and a happy life, that's enough. I mean, this concept of you have to toil and toil and toil to afford anything, I think it's coming to an end. You'll just need a good skill, offer solutions, offer value, and there you go. So what is that skill that you could put in your brain? And some of these skills are, communication skills, negotiating skills, people skills, networking skills, being able to live with others. Those are the basics ARKOMO is coming to offer the world in simplified, beautiful, practical way. And I'm excited to be among the team that is going to deliver that.
Thank you. Thank you for those words, Betty. I think that's very, very, very truthful and very valuable words. Thank you so much, Betty. Mohammed, just a very small question. in regards for the trading, what is the minimum capital that the person can start trading with? As a last question, just to close up here, just to have a very generic understanding, brief generic understanding of it.
Anywhere from $100 to $100,000, wherever he wants. A person can start his own account and he can learn and grow it with time. But usually it depends on the income that he wants to generate, and then he will define with time how much capital he needs after practicing on his own, learning how much is his risk appetite, how many trades is he taking, is it enough to generate enough income for him, and then it will define. But usually many brokers would allow the trader or an interested person to become a trader with anything from $100 to there's no limit. But just one point here, Lorena. Look, the fact that many people before has done trading without really learning it and doing it properly, they have lost a lot of money, and this is where the reputation about trading came from, that it's a risky business, people lose money. Yeah? But as a matter of fact, let me say it this way. Let's say you want to drive a bicycle. Would you know how to drive a bicycle without someone teaching you? Maybe you will try 10,000. Maybe you will try and fall, until someone will come and give you a guiding line. And then let's say you would have the authority to drive your own bike on your own. Same applies for driving a car, the same applies for driving a truck, the same applies for driving a plane. Anything you want to do, you need to learn it from someone and then you do it. Anything you do without learning it, you will hurt yourself in the process. Trading is nothing different than any other thing you want to do in life. And the fact that many people has done it before, burning their money, burning their fingers without really learning how to do it, this is where the reputation around it comes from.
That's why they need to learn from the ARKOMO program, basically, and not to.
There are many very good teachers around the internet, around the world. I myself have learned from excellent teachers here in Dubai and out there in the US. But my conclusion after I've seen it all, you can learn the skills, you can learn the techniques, you can follow someone's strategy, even you can copy someone's trade, but it all comes from your ability to be emotionally free when trading is happening. Because it might be easy to spend, let's say, $200 on a fancy dinner somewhere outside, but when you're doing it in business and you're seeing the money fluctuating plus minus 100, 200, or $1,000 or $2,000, whatever is the risk appetite, the feelings and the emotions are agitating in a turbulence in your head, and that would definitely affect your decision-making process. And every decision in trading, like anything else we do in life, every decision in trading is either costly or profitable. Anything else in life, also we make decisions, are also either costly and profitable, but we don't see the result or consequences immediately. We might see them over, like with what they call the butterfly effect, within a different time frame. But in trading, you will see the result impacted immediately on your balance.
To start, to initially, just to start, we can conclude then that it can be from 100 to any amount.
They depend on the broker. But usually any amount. But here's the trick. Then the broker, if that person does not know what he's doing, the broker will tell him, start with $1,000 or $500 or $100, and then when they will tell him open this position, because I heard this story from so many friends. They will tell him open this position, and when they see the amount is going down or the margin is going down, they will tell him add more money and add more money and then add more money.
That's why they need. Yeah.
And then suddenly he started with $100 or $200. He ends up within 1 week burning $10,000 without really knowing about it. This is a trick, yeah. And really, there are certain unethical people in the business that will do that because this is how they make money, simply, yeah. But and on the other side, whatever you do in life, whether you're trading or you're driving a bicycle or you're driving a company, multinational or a small company, if you don't know how to do it, just don't do it. Learn it and then do it.
Of course. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for all this wonderful insight. I think you have given us, both of you have given us a wonderful insight of your world. For me, I have to say it has been a pleasure to have both of you in this interview. From my side, I have learned a lot throughout the night, and I expect that both of you have as well enjoyed this amazing evening. And to all of our viewers, many thanks for watching. This interview is going to be available online through our Facebook page, so do not forget to like and to share it. You can find us over Facebook and Instagram page under the name ARKOMO World. And if you want to have more information about Betty Maura Coach and Mohammed Murad Coach, you can visit our website www.arkomo.world. Stay tuned for more insight of our members and more insights of the whole world of ARKOMO. Thank you so much and good evening. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you very
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Good night.
And good
Bye-bye.
night. Good night.
Thank you for hosting us again, Lorena.